Hey, this is Bryce Harper, and welcome to the Phillies Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Phillies Show. Ruben and Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki. We are now part of the Foul Territory Network. It's Monday, July 29th, 2024. The Phillies dropped 2 out of 3 over the weekend of the Cleveland Guardians. They have lost 8 out of 12, but they also made 2 trades this weekend. Friday, they get Austin Hays from the Orioles. Ruben, Jim, and I got together on Saturday morning. We broke that trade down. So if you missed that episode, go back and check that out. It's a quick one. Saturday, Phillies rookie Tyler Phillips goes out and throws the first shutout of his major league career and only the third start of his major league career. We had Tyler Phillips on the show on Friday, and that was a lot of fun, fantastic interview. So if you missed that one, definitely go back and check that one out. You'll really enjoy that. And then mid-game on Saturday, the Phillies go out and they trade for Angels closer Carlos Estévez. They gave up a couple pretty good pitching prospects for him. Phillies, no doubt, looking for some bullpen help down the stretch and in the postseason. He should help, throws hard, throws a ton of strikes. That's something that this bullpen needs. So, guys, let's break it down. What do we think about the Carlos Estevez trade?
No doubt. No doubt. I love this guy. I love the pickup. I love the fact that they gave up, I don't care whether it's number 5 or number 7. They didn't give up their best players. They gave up 2 guys. I know it was a rental, but prospects are prospects, man. Klassen and the other kid, the left-hander, I don't know. I can't even pronounce his name. I'm sorry.
Aldegary.
I'm sorry. My apologies to that young man. All I can tell you is that those are prospects, and Estevez is doing it at the major league level, and he is probably the best of all the guys that are going to be dealt and the bullpen as far as quality and ability. I had a great talk with Mark Gubasaw, who was my teammate at Penn Charter. He is one of the color guys in Anaheim for the Angels. He's a fantastic human being, but he's also really gave me the real. He said, this guy is a dude. He said he loves him. I said, does he have balls? That's the exact question I asked him. I said, does he have balls? He said he's got gigantic ones.
Okay.
And so, I mean, he believes. I said, because in Philadelphia, when you're trying to win a World Series, you got to have them. And he said, oh, yeah, man, I know. I mean, he's a Philadelphian. He's from Roxborough. He gets it. He knows. Right. He loves the guy, and he's sad to see him go, but he knows that Perry Minasian's got to make moves. He's the GM for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and he knows that they need a lot, and they had to make moves. And listen, you got to get quality for quality, and this guy is a quality piece, and I love it. And they may not be done. I know that they've gotten Hays. I like that move. I love this move. Even if it doesn't work out, they're trying to do everything they possibly can to win, and they know what pieces they need, because in the big moments in October and hopefully November, I don't know if it's going to go that long, September, October, November, you got to have these guys that can slam the door at the end of the game, and it's leaking a little oil right now, but they got the right guy. I love it.
Well, it's nice to hear, and I think that's great. You reached out to Gubasa, who sees him every day. He's their broadcaster, right? He knows the heck out of pitching.
He sure does. He's rated one of the best pitchers in baseball for 2 years. Elias had him as ranked the #1 pitcher for 2 straight years. I don't know how they do their rankings, but for 2 straight years, I think it was like in the mid or late 80s.
Oh yeah, when he was with Kansas City, he was a stud.
Kansas City stud.
Absolute stud. I can still see his delivery in my mind. But, you mentioned that he's got, I'll use the word guts. Guts, strikes, and velo. I love that at the end of a game. Guts, strikes, and velo. It's clearly a move by a general manager who believes his team can win the World Series, who believes his team needs to win the World Series, who believes his team should win the World Series. However you want to phrase it. They're trying to win the World Series. Gave up two good, promising arms, both having kind of breakthrough years. But, Klassen's had trouble throwing strikes. He's really starting to get it together, though. He's a power guy. He's kind of a two-pitch guy who might ultimately profile on the bullpen. The other guy, young lefty, Italian-born lefty, showing a lot of promise, getting stronger, building velo. You can't – and I like them both. And I think, they could continue to go this way. But who knows which way they're going to go. And I hope they continue to climb and continue to get better. And I hope they both pitch in the major leagues. I love to see everybody's dream come true. But you can't – the fact of the matter is they're kind of second-tier prospects in the Phillies organization. They're not Aiden Miller. They're not Andrew Painter. They're not Justin Crawford. You were able to hang on to that core of your elite prospects. And we don't know if they're going to make it because they're prospects. Nothing is guaranteed. But you really like, how they look now, and you really like how they profile. You were able to hang on to those guys and fill two big needs, a right-handed bat and a late-game bullpen arm that throws strikes, throws hard, that's done it before, that doesn't scare. Been the reliever of the month in the American League recently. He's a good one. I think if they're done, I think it's been a good trade deadline. I really do. And I don't necessarily think they're done. We all know Dombrowski, and he's aggressive. And he'll keep working something right till the end. And there's, a few teams right on that tightrope that might decide, at noontime on Tuesday that, we're out of it. Here's a bunch of guys to take a look at. So wouldn't surprise me to see one more move, and I like what they've done so far.
What do you think they should go for if they got one more move left in them? Say they're going to hold on to Miller and Crawford. Do you go for another bullpen arm? There's been some talk of some rotation interest. Possibly because Suarez is going down. Maybe there's just some long-term concerns about, maybe some of these guys being effective later on. They want to just add another arm into the mix.
I'll tell you what was interesting to me was the thought process. Okay, if Suarez is out for a while, well, Suarez can pitch in the pen, and he can shut down a game as well, and he's had tremendous success as a closer. Lest we forget, the man has closed. Now, I don't know that he'll be a closer, but that's another arm. If you're really not all that comfortable where Alvarado is right now or down the road, I think Alvarado will straighten his act out. I think he'll get better. I know he's going through a little bit of a tough time right now. Yesterday, he got popped for a home run. That said, I think he's throwing the ball a little bit better since he's had a little bit of a break. But that said, I mean, if you want to take Suarez and you feel like he's going to be out for a while and he can't build up the innings to be out there and pitching as a starter, do you make a run at a big time starter? Maybe. It's not the worst thing. You can never have enough arms to win a World Series. You just can't. Look at the Houston Astros a couple of years ago. The reason why the Houston Astros were World Series champions, I know that they've had success offensively, but they've had great pitching, man. They had the best overall staff in the game in 2022. If you can pitch and get outs, man, you got yourself a chance to win. So is it possible that they make a run at a center fielder or a real big bat to play center field? Maybe. I don't know that. I think Marsh is probably a little bit better than he has been. I mean, he struck out like 20 times since the All-Star break, or 30 times since the All-Star break. I don't know what the percentage is. Finally hit a home run the other day. But I mean, do you try to get a little bit more offensive? Maybe, but I wouldn't pin anything past Dave Dombrowski, man. They're hell-bent on doing what they can to try to win a World Series.
They're clearly concerned about center field. I mean, Brandon Marsh, hey, we really don't want to play him against lefties. He doesn't hit lefties. He starts on Sunday against the lefty in center field.
Right.
They're clearly trying to put that puzzle together to figure out something out there. So I'm sure they're monitoring the center field market. I really don't feel a Lewis Robert move from the White Sox, but I'll tell you this. I have heard they continue to monitor the market for Garrett Crochet from the White Sox, left-handed strikeout arm, rotation guy, but there could be innings issues, could be a bullpen guy. It's probably an extreme long shot, but I hear they continue to monitor that market to see where it's going to go and see what might happen. So that, coupled with Rangers' status, I think probably tells you they could still add another arm. I don't know if it'll be that quality,
Right.
but they're still looking for arms. And Texas just got swept over the weekend by the Blue Jays. They were kind of on the fence. I don't know if they're going to sell. But they have some interesting arms. Kirby Yates.
Yeah.
I mean, Evaldi is an arm that would interest me. He's got a history with Dombrowski. That said, he's got a very reachable $20 million option for next season. I don't know if they can go there based on, it's based on his innings. I think he's 50 innings short of $20 million. But I'm sure all these topics are being discussed in that war room. And I will not be one bit surprised if they make another move, be it a depth piece on the offensive side and the outfield, be it another bullpen arm, or be it a starting pitcher, because I could see every one of those being a fit in some way.
There's got to be players for the Toronto Blue Jays that have to be there. I mean, that's a pretty good – they got a lot of talent, and they've had a terrible season. Awful. Yeah. There's some talent there. So, I mean, whether it's arms, they got some arms over there. They got, arms. They got bats. They got a whole lot of stuff going on over there, too.
Like you said, the beautiful part about it is that they haven't given up any of their real top guys. A couple, guys having breakout seasons. So they have more to move if they needed to do so. It was funny talking to when Dave talked last night in the back of the press box. He kind of acknowledged, like, it's probably a little more than you want to pay for a rental player. But he said, hey, this is the best guy, and we would rather overpay for the best guy than keep George Klassen and get a guy that we're not quite in love with, but he might have a little bit more control, or, so he's kind of going for it. He hasn't gone for it in the big, super huge splashy move, I guess, that some fans want to see. But it was funny. Ruben, Jim and I were talking about this before you hopped on. Before these trades went down, right? Everybody's going like, the Phillies got to go all in. They got to give all their prospects. And then as soon as that trade goes down, it's like, did they give up too much for this guy?
Oh, they paid too much. I mean, come on.
But
have a both.
It reminds me of something that I'm sure you guys know this. Obviously, Pat Gillick always said, you can't be afraid to make a mistake. You can't be afraid to make a move, because if you're scared, then you won't make the good move. So you're good.
Right.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to trade 2 pitching prospects for a rental player. If you think he's the best guy, go for it. You're trying to win the World Series. I mean,
if that's your big hole on a championship ready team, you go for it. You fill it. Hey, remember the deadline 2022, 2 years ago? Who are their absolute 2 untouchables? Mick Abel and Griff McGarry. Yeah. And they've both really leveled off. I don't know that either one of them would hold up a trade now. So,
I mean,
look at chance. They got a big chance here, and they're really kind of treading water. I think these trades are going to help in performance, and they also could wake up that clubhouse a little bit. I mean, you look at this team since they swept Milwaukee back in early June at home. Took 3 from Milwaukee. They're 21-21. They're a 500 club. They got to do better.
Yeah,
they've been playing baseball. They got to do better.
They've been playing very mediocre baseball. Their offense, their first top guy, 5 guys in the lineup, not very consistent. Mm-hmm. They had a big breakout day from Schwarber. Hopefully, he can start rolling. Turner's gone cold. Harper's gone fairly cold. Bohm's gone cold. I mean, you've got guys who are kind of struggling right now. Now, they will come out of it.
They will.
They will have success. Totally. They will start busting it up. Somebody's going to pay eventually. I get it. But right now they're in a little bit of a lull. Anytime you can lengthen out that lineup, anytime you can improve in some way, shape, or form, take a little heat off this guy, take a little heat off that guy. I mean, it's so important that the other day, Harper hits a home run. Oh, everybody gets exhales. And then all of a sudden, bang, 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 you have 3 more home runs because people exhale because the big boys came through. Gentlemen, if the big boys don't produce, they're done anyway.
Wait, did you see what Harper said post game? Did that kind of spark this comment or no? Did you hear what he said post game?
He said he was terrible.
Well, so he was asked about the trade deadline. He was asked about the 2 pickups, Austin Hays and Carlos Estévez, and he said, Hays is great, he's going to help. Estevez is great, he's going to help, and then we'll see what else Dave might do before Tuesday night. Another question was asked. Then I followed up and I said, so what do you think if Dave doesn't make any more moves before Tuesday at 6 p.m.? What do you think about the team as it's currently constructed going into the final 2 months of the season? And he said, the superstars got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And it's so true because,
and he means himself too. Because he said he
right. No, he said he's like, have been terrible lately, and he's so frustrated. In the 7th inning today, he fouled off a fastball right down the middle of the plate, the next pitch was a ball outside, and he was so mad about the first pitch, he was staring at home plate and dropped the F-bomb as loud could be. So he's very frustrated with the way he's been playing. But it's so true. Austin Hays is going to help, but he's not going to make or break the World Series chances if Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola aren't performing up to their capabilities. They're going to have to lead the way.
We have said it all along. They're going to win this thing. We said this, before the trade deadline, before they made these deals. They're going to win this thing. If they're going to win this thing, they're going to have to win it with the guys that are here. The guys that are here have to be their best players. The guys that come in are going, Hays, Estevez, whoever comes in before Tuesday, they're going to be helpers and complimentary guys. But, look at the acquisitions, the signings and the trades they've made recent winters. Stud after stud after stud. Those guys have to be your best players if they're going to win this thing. I agree with the offense is going to wake up. This is the way baseball goes.
No doubt.
You have weeks where you just you hate yourself as a hitter, and then there's other weeks where everything comes together and you can't wait to get in the batter's box.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are no Juan Sotos out there. That ain't happening. You're not going to acquire a guy like that. Aaron Judge is not going on the block. Okay?
Right.
Trout is no longer Trout. Okay, the man's hurt. He can't even get onto the field. I love the guy, but the man can't get on the field. There's nobody who's going to make any kind of major impact except the guys that are on the field right now for the Phillies. They have superstars. He's right. Schwarber, superstar, home run hitter, ridiculous, putting up very, very good numbers and has in the past. Mm-hmm. Harper, MVP caliber player. Turner, MVP caliber player. Castellanos, one of the best right-handed hitters in all of baseball for like 7 years in this league. I mean, you talk about Alec Boehm, a rising star, all-star, one of the better pure hitters they have in there. If they are not performing, forget about it.
Luis Roberts not going to help you at that point.
Yeah, you could get all the Luis Roberts in the world, it ain't mattering, because if the big boys aren't producing, Luis Robert is not carrying them.
Right. Would you guys give up Justin Crawford and Luis Robert trade?
Not even remotely. Luis Robert, to me, is somebody that I would absolutely stay away from unless they give him to us.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. And that ain't happening.
That's not going to happen either. Because Chris Getz, the GM over there, is all eyes are on him because he's got to figure it out too. And Crochet didn't do him any favors, that poor kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, like the Austin Hays trade just tells you that you don't know what Dave Dombrowski might be looking at right now, because that seemed to kind of come out of nowhere. Everybody was speculating on right-handed bats. I didn't hear a lot of Austin Hays coming to the Phillies before Friday afternoon.
Right.
So
is he going to be he looks like he's going to be the left fielder for a while.
You're going to let him play left field.
Yes.
Let him play left field all the way up.
This platoon is going to be a platoon in center field.
It's going to be a platoon in center field. Yeah, Johan Rojas is going to lose most of the playing time there. And Rob said he is going to give Austin Hays some run for like the next couple of weeks at least, just to see if he can get on track and hit some right-handed pitching. So
yes,
we're going to see it. Yeah, we'll see a lot of Austin Hays.
I think a lot of this, you're basically going to find out a couple of things, whether Austin Hays can be an everyday left fielder and be productive, whether or not Marsh can play center field well enough and consistently enough to be the right-handed, the left-handed hitting center fielder. And Rojas is he's going to end up doing exactly what he's supposed to do, which is basically be a defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's going to be. I mean, he's basically going to take over Pache's deal, where Pache was like, center fielder, or in his case, he could play left field too, but he's going to be a defensive player. And that's all he's really been, because his swings are not taking him. He hasn't improved. And so he's going to be that guy. He's going to be a pinch runner. He's going to try to steal a base. He's going to be the guy off the bench. That's not a guy that they're going to be counting on, because they've decided, in my mind, maybe next year or the following year he can be an everyday center fielder, but he's not going to be an everyday center fielder for him right now, because he's not swinging the bat well enough to do so.
It would go such a long way to have Marsh just have some semi-decent at bats against left-handed pitching. I mean, today was his first start against a legit left-handed starter since I think May 16th, May 19th against Jose Quintana with the Mets.
And he got a base. Did he get a base?
You got a hit. You got a hit today. So I mean, maybe
we'll see more against him. Maybe we'll see more in center field against lefties for him.
Yeah, I think that's a big disappointment for Brandon personally. Ran in him in the dugout yesterday and said, how do you feel about this chicken or the egg thing, right? I mean, you can't hit lefties if you don't play, but how can you play if you don't have good at bats? And he's like, well, I really just want to see if I can get more at bats against lefties. It'll be interesting to see how Estevez fits in the bullpen. Dave and Rob did not come out and say it. Like they don't want to. Rob said today he doesn't want to box himself into saying he's our closer. I'm not going to do that. We have never had an official closer, but it sounds like they're going to give him the majority of the work in the ninth inning. Which should be
why wouldn't you? Wouldn't until he proves himself not worthy, until he proves himself that he can't do it for a contending team. He's proven it this year. He's proven it somewhat last year. Let the guy go. Let him close. I mean, hey, it makes life a whole lot easier on Rob Thompson.
And you can mix and match all those other guys in the earlier innings.
Correct.
Yeah, you can go righties, lefties, and maybe it takes a little pressure off Alvarado, who might be, feeling it a little bit with some of these struggles he's had, because you really need, like some of these hitters, you really need to get him right.
Yeah,
because he's pretty nasty when he is right.
Filthy, absolutely dominant. I mean, think about how good he was for about 2 months or 3. I mean, even last year, like untouchable for a while. I mean, untouchable, the best left-hander, and he was like the Matt Strom from last year. So hopefully he can get things going again, and I think he will. It's just about confidence.
So how about how about Saturday night, Tyler Phillips?
Oh yeah,
what an effort! Does he because I don't know if Ruben saw a lot of this guy, although he traded for him. He reminds me a little Jared Eichhoff. He wears the same number, big guy, throws a lot of good breaking ball like Eichhoff.
Yeah.
He came out of the Rangers organization. Even his delivery a little bit, his demeanor a little bit. What a ball game he pitched.
Yeah, you're right about the demeanor. Like on the mound, Jared was kind of a bulldog. I mean, this he's definitely got that vibe. He talked about it when we had him on late last week, and just his, and both tremendous people off the field too, like a Jekyll and Hyde type of personality. Even Schwarber said it yesterday. He says, seeing him in the tunnel, like in between innings, like he doesn't even make eye contact with anybody. He's ready to kill you. He looks like he's ready to kill you. But
he's an assassin. I love it.
Yeah, that was a great performance, and something that they definitely needed. That was a lot of fun.
I'll probably get canceled for that. But here's the deal. I think that this guy is perfect for Philadelphia. He understands the mentality, understands it, and I love his face on the mound. I love his demeanor on the mound. You talked about Jared Eichhoff. One of the interesting things about when I made that trade for Cole Hamels, and move trade Cole Hamels. The one guy that John Daniels did not want to give up was Jared Eichhoff, because he thought he was the best makeup guy he had. He thought he was going to be and you know, a man had a bad shoulder, and it crushed him, and it just ended his career basically, because shoulders are much tougher to come back than from elbows. But this guy, you talk about balls, he had him.
Well,
and
I'll tell you this.
That was the thing I loved about him. I love this kid, and I'm just it was just unfortunate he got injured.
Well, John Daniels was 100% right, because Jared Eichhoff had great makeup. He was smart, follow a game plan. He was tough. He competed. He was a great teammate. His intangibles were off the charts. He was their best pitcher in 16. I think he led the staff in ERA at like a 3.25, I think. And then his shoulder, he hurt his shoulders, unfortunately.
It's so sad.
But that big body, that competitiveness, that breaking ball, the style of pitching, and the Rangers' roots, and the number on the back, 48, really kind of makes, thinking about Tyler Phillips a little bit.
It was cool. He coming out to the mound in the ninth inning. He said he had the chills. He didn't know if he should laugh, if he should get choked up, if he should have tears rolling down his face, because he had the standing ovation as he walked out there in the ninth inning. So, I mean, it's really
it's one of the greatest stories of the year. It really is.
It's so cool.
It's one of the greatest, especially. I mean, he's pitched 3 times now. Is it 3 times?
Yeah,
he's pitched 3 times
starts,
now. And what was he had? Like 1 walk, 2 walks, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. That is just impressive, man. I love it. It's just a terrific story, and you pull for this guy. I'll continue to pull for him. That podcast, that interview we did with him was just spectacular. I loved his demeanor. I love his makeup, and I'll be pulling for that cat.
Well, speaking of interviews, we got another one coming tomorrow. Hunter Pence.
Nice.
We talked with Hunter Pence the other day, and that was a lot of fun too. We're kind of reliving 2011, even though it didn't end the way everybody wanted it to end. He was
should have ended,
Ruben. It did not end the way anybody wanted it to end, but he was a lot of fun. He's going to be in town this week. He's throwing out the first pitch before the Yankees-Phillies game on Wednesday afternoon. They're doing that 20th anniversary of Citizens Bank Park, so they're bringing back some of the old Phillies to do that. So he's going to throw out the first pitch. So yeah, we talked to him, and that'll be out tomorrow morning. That was a lot of fun as well. So check that out. And of course, we'll be back after the trade deadline. Who knows what they're going to do? Maybe they do nothing. Maybe they do something big. Maybe Dave Dombrowski surprises everybody, and then we'll come back and break that down. So we'll be back. We're always back. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Ruben.
Smell you later, boys.
Smell you, Jim.
This is The Phillies Show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to The Phillies Show wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel. If you like what we do, give us a review. Tell a friend. Catch Ruben, Jim, and me on Phillies Nation TV, presented by Valley Forge Tourism. New episodes air an hour before every Saturday Phillies game on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Replays air throughout the week and on PhilliesNation.com. Get more of Ruben's analysis during, before, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Read Jim at the All City Network at allphly.com. Find more of me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and occasionally on MLB Network.